Right, welcome back to Sunday Live. And the country, of course, heads into the crucial week in the countdown to the August 8th general election, with all the key parties expected to conclude their primaries. So far, the exercise has been marred by delays, confusion, and in some instances, like the ODM Busia governor's race, cancellation of results. What do you make of the party nominations so far? Do you expect the exercise to be free and fair? Talk to us. The hashtag is GameTime2017 and text us on 22422. Kimani Ichung'wah is the Kikuyu MP in studio. And of course, Jubilee primaries will be held this week. And of course, Herman Manyora, resident political analyst, is also in studio tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for making time. Junaid Mohammed, Suna East Member of Parliament, also the Director of Elections at ODM, was supposed to be here, but he hasn't showed up yet. So I'll start you with you, Manyora. First, I mean, you won't be commenting a lot because ODM is not here, so we won't really go very deep into the issues of ODM. Okay, you talk. First, let's start with you, Herman Manyora. What do you make of what you've seen so far, the ODM primaries?
Well, the quick take is that it's shameful. Actually, it's pathetic. We have come this far. And one would have expected, by now at least, there's some form of decency and some order. Because you see, you cannot talk of democracy at the national level, at the global level, before you talk about democracy within parties. And if parties can't do simple things like conduct a nomination exercise, it's shameful. It's bad. I wish Junaid Mohammed was here.
I wish so too.
I don't like it.
But what exactly did you see that was very wrong? What is it that you...
What is it you want me to tell you? You are there. You are on TV all the time. You are the one who was reading the news. You see what was happening. You saw what was happening in Busia. You saw in... Look here. They were only doing elections, conducting elections in 3 out of 47 counties. Out of the 3, only one was their stronghold, where you would expect some kind of friction between Ojamong and the trauma.
On Thursday, that is.
Because these are the Machakos, there's not much ODM there. Bungoma is a Fort Kenya zone, not so much of ODM there. Now, with one county, the entire machinery of ODM, they couldn't handle this. It's embarrassing, to say the least.
Is the cancellation, and we saw that in Busia, because we saw them doing the Busia, Bungoma, and Machakos on Thursday. Of course, on Saturday they did in other places, including Kakamega and Narok, whose results apparently are yet to come out. Official results will be given tomorrow.
That's what I'm talking about.
But what we saw in Busia, for example, the battle for the Busia governor's ticket that was nullified, was that in itself something good that they did? Should they be commended for that, nullifying it? Because
but look here, you are sitting in Nairobi and you are nullifying elections. Jamong is right. On what are you basing to nullify the elections? I thought one would have expected, now that the returning officer has declared results, a party to the dispute, this time in this case of trauma, would then file some form of complaint, on the basis of which the National Elections Board would then act and maybe nullify. So you are nullifying elections on phone. I support Ojamong. That is wrong. It means these people are not organized. Look here. look at the votes in nominations. 155,000 votes. Where would you get that? In a small county like Busia? It's a joke on both sides.
And Otuoma is saying he's not interested in a repeat of that nomination process, which was stated for.
If our Otuoma would do the same, it was predetermined that Ojamong, I think, wins. It is also, please give me half a second.
Yeah.
It is also good that we mature our political party democracy. It is actually foolish to subject a sitting governor like a Vogo to nominations. The way we should move in future is you have Hussein Mohammed, governor for which county where you'll be in the next 20 years, 15 years?
Garissa.
Yeah.
For me.
Let me give you Garissa. Okay. Garissa. Now, we support you as ODM perhaps. Then you win. I want to presuppose that you will be implementing our manifesto. So we are walking the journey with you. How then do we subject you to a nomination 5 years down the line when you are seeking the election? If you have failed to work with us in the 5 years, You should head to the next election knowing very well you are not part of us. So it's not be a question of subjecting you to some nomination. No. We'll just sweep you aside and bring another person. So parties must move to that.
I
know you don't like the case of Kabogo, but I'm saying that will see, how would you subject Trump 4 years from now? To primaries.
I don't know. And
why didn't you subject Uhuru to primaries? It wouldn't make sense.
Let me say this.
Why didn't you?
Let me say, because there's nobody opposing him.
Come on.
And I wanted the very nature, and I want to believe that you're a very good teacher of political science students. And the very nature of democracy is that you have got to subject the people to the people's will, those who seek positions of leadership. And therefore, you cannot propose that someone who has been a governor, or even myself who has been an MP, however well I have done or however poorly you have done within the party and outside the party, that you will deny the people their sovereign rights to elect the leader that they want. Therefore, you cannot purport, but maybe that's the democracy that we are seeing in ODM today. Because the democracy that you see in ODM, and you've put it right, that the end result of the Busia gubernatorial race, whether there is a repeat or not,
with a circus,
will be the same. It's a circus. Yeah. And the cancellation, Hussein, I can tell you, was just a PR exercise. And I think I will stand with my brother Paul Otuoma in his expression of no interest in Ariran, because the end result in ODM will be the same. I think ODM is just living to its form and character and nature. It's a party that does not at all believe in democracy. The Orange Democratic Movement, as it were. Let me finish, Manyora. Yes. I have seen a lot of Kenyans on social media now describe ODM as a party of only D minuses, and therefore negating anything to do with democracy. And I think it all boils down to the top party leadership. You will see, with our nominations come this Friday, I don't want to preempt anything, but I can tell you for a fact, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, because they are people who truly believe in democracy, and they have let the party machinery to organize. Two, the logistical issues we've seen with delays in ballot papers and all that are things for us as a party we started working on months before the nominations. Remember when we started engaging with IEBC, as much as ODM and NASA went to block IEBC from conducting our party primaries, we are benefiting from a lot of technical support and logistics support from IEBC. And you remember our party officials having a meeting with IEBC.
What do you mean you're benefiting from logistical and technical support? How are they supporting you?
Advisory services, advisory work, advising you in terms of when do you deliver your ballot boxes,
I think it's right.
When do you deliver your ballot papers. I think that kind of support is something that ODM, if they genuinely wanted to allow the people to elect the leaders they want. But you will see, Hussein, with time. Let them get into Nyanza, Lower Nyanza, and you will see what will happen. The true character of ODM and its top leadership.
I was trying to ask Hussein 2 minutes ago when you were talking, to invite Kamau Ichung'wah here. Go to Kimani Ichung'wah. I'm now apologizing. That time I was joking. This time it has just come. That time it was a joke. Now, Kimani Ichung'wah ought to be invited here on Sunday. The nightmare you are walking in. I know you are using a bit of IBC, which is a plus, which I support. I also know you have state machinery, that the county commissioners and chiefs, we know that. We live in this country. You know, I've lived here many years before you were born. I was in this country. So I know it. But I'm giving it to you. You are going to be a little more organized. I even said, when I compared Bomas and Kasarani at some point, that was, I think, was it February or something like that? And said you are more organized. You come out as more organized. But wait. Because you are believers. But wait, don't brace yourself. Don't brace yourself.
Okay. I want to look at some clips here.
Wait until Friday comes, you see the chaos you'll walk into. You'd laugh.
You will witness the marked difference between Jubilee. You know, when we say that the difference between Jubilee and these are NASA and ODM guys, anyway, you know, NASA in itself is ODM. Therefore, the true character of ODM that you are seeing today is the same thing.
Until Friday.
That's why NASA can't even agree today after today on a candidate.
So you're basing it on what you have seen, isn't it? You're basing your comments or remarks about ODM on what you have seen.
What I have seen and what was in ODM and its top leadership.
Right. There's what was also seen, I think, 2 weeks ago, when Jubilee was trying to set up county election boards all over the country. I don't know if those clips are ready.
Even today, Tuju was in Nakuru. Today or yesterday?
But we saw they were marred with a lot of violence. So why say ODM only? Why say Jubilee?
Let me say this, and I think I've made it very clear in an earlier show on this station, Hussein, that one, there was a lot of misunderstanding on the nature and character of work that the county election boards would do. People assumed that if you elect a county elections board for Kiambu County, they will conduct the Kiambu County nominations. And therefore, inherently, politicians are selfish as we are. We wanted to control the process. I'll tell you for a fact, myself, I never participated in those elections for the county election boards, because I know it's not about the arbiter, it's about your engagement with the people and the agenda that you're selling to the people of Kenya. And I think in the same thing we're coming to at the national level. ODM and NASA still believes today that it's about IEBC, not about their agenda and what they're selling to Kenya.
Still, either way, there was violence. Either way, there was violence.
There was violence.
So you cannot say this is something that hasn't happened in the Jubilee Party, in the run-up to this.
I'm saying for a fact, there was violence. But I'm telling you, it is not, it is out of character. Let me finish. It is out of character in Jubilee, within Jubilee. But ODM, it's ODM's true character. And actually the character of its leadership. Remember, Jubilee, there was no meddling from the top leadership on determining who will sit in those county election boards.
Okay.
I want to tell you, look at the reverse question in ODM.
Let me ask you
who elected the election boards? The top leadership.
Let me ask you one question. Okay, fine, you agree there was violence. Either way, there was violence in Jubilee during the election of the county election boards. Now, the party again said, we have seen what has happened and we will take action. It's about 4 days to the party primaries, Jubilee party primaries. We didn't see any disciplinary action taken on anyone after that.
Let me say this, and I don't sit in the party's disciplinary board, but I know for a fact that the disciplinary board has sat. They have invited the people who are engaged in the scuffles in Nairobi, and I think in Murang'a and somewhere else where there was a bit of violence. And that doesn't mean because they have not announced that nothing is being done. And I don't think we should be looking at just public pronouncements like what has been done in ODM. You know, for Ruaraka, the case for Ruaraka where they have announced that Elizabeth Ngoro is being debarred from running in Ruaraka. But it was already predetermined that TJ Kajwang will be ODM's candidate.
I want to say this.
I
want to say this. You see, Kimani Ichung'wah, it's not a question of Jubilee or a question of ODM. It's just a question of bad manners and immaturity in our political parties. As you are seated there and I'm seated here and Hussein is here, come Friday, it's a circus to monitor the ODM. We shall witness them when Jubilee. So what's the point I was trying to make? And because you reacted to it, I thought I better make some observation. When I say we need to mature our democracies at the party level, I mean there must be specific steps we take. For example, before even bringing law, we have attempted to bring in law, but you always change the laws. I am saying, for example, let governors run. That is one way. Secondly, don't subject them to nominations. Secondly, parties, contrary to you, must be encouraged to scout for talent. Let somebody look for this guy. Say, we have seen you on Citizen TV. We've seen you an intelligent human being. We want you to come and run as MP for Wajir Town. That is how it works in mature democracies. That is how it works in the UK. That's how it works in South Africa, even Rwanda here, so that parties scout for people and bring them on board. In fact, in some democracies like Rwanda and South Africa, it is the party that stands. After it has won the seat, it gives you the seat. It is because of that reason that you find in South Africa and in Rwanda, we have enough women in parliament. They don't leave it to universal suffrage. So if we went that route, we would even sort out some of these problems about
I think about
the two-thirds. I mean, the system we're using now. I'm
not saying we go that direction, but I'm saying we do whatever it takes incrementally to take steps to ensure that there is democracy within parties. I've said, one, do not subject governors. It's a small thing, but it will work. Number two, I'm saying, let parties be encouraged, where possible, to directly nominate. Let them not pretend. You know what I'm saying? Let them not pretend. You know, for example, let me give you a,
Manyora, allow me.
Just a minute. You see, in Kiambu where you come from, what is so difficult telling Babayao, looking at your age, and we are not seeing that thing terribly wrong with Kafogo. Let Kafogo finish. What is wrong with Raila sitting with Otuoma and telling him, let Ojamong finish his term? What is wrong? I come from Vihiga, for example. The governor is not from the major political parties. There it is understandable. But even within that, you'll find that even the party self ANC is subjecting, I think, somebody called Ahmad Engineer and the Yusuf Chanzu. When you look at it, say, why can't the party leader see that Yusuf Chanzu, for example, is a more experienced politician? Let's give him the ANC ticket, let him fight Akaranga and the ODM people. What I'm saying is, let us at all times try to be reasonable and sensible. It's not everything we shall subject to universal suffrage.
You know why
the point I'm making.
Let me answer you directly why we can't do that.
Yes.
The preamble of our own constitution talks about the sovereign power of the people that is exercised directly by the people or through their elected, and the word underline, elected representatives. Not appointed representatives, as the case would be for the case in Rwanda, where the party wins and then the party appoints representatives of the people. That's how a lot of
I was using that as
it's the same input you're bringing to the country and asking why wouldn't Uhuru Kenyatta today say to the people of Kiambu, let Kabogo continue governing you for another 5 years? Mind you,
why did you people say nobody opposes Uhuru Kenyatta?
Is after failing. Let me finish.
Did you compromise on democracy when Uhuru was not opposed?
Is after failing.
It is only common sense that you cannot
finish
some nominations.
You know, the community where I come from, they are saying, I wouldn't put in my vernacular, but they are saying that when somebody is speaking, you let them speak, then you come after.
Go ahead.
Therefore, allow me to make my point. I was telling you why Uhuru Kenyatta today would not appoint Kabogo to continue governing Kiambu County is because it is not Uhuru's work to appoint constitutionally to even nominate semantics, Manyora, to even allow the people to elect the person they believe will deliver. I can tell you for Kabogo's case, in my own opinion, he has not delivered to the people of Kiambu. Two, it is not fair even for Jamong and my friend Paul Otuoma to say that Jamong is older, the sort of things you're saying. And therefore let us continue. And you can see the people in Busia clearly are with one Paul Otuoma. Therefore, let me say, it all boils down, Manyora, to whether within our political parties, and I agree with you, we need to bring our political party to
this is across the board, all over the years, we've been seeing this.
Across the board. But let me tell you the difference between now Jubilee as a political party, and forget about the parties that came before Jubilee, because Jubilee now is a conglomeration of almost 14 parties. But the whole ideology that informed even the conglomeration of those political parties is to have one political party, one that is led by leaders who believe in true democracy. That is why I'm telling you, as much as I don't want to say there will be no violence during the Jubilee nomination, because I do not know how people will behave, and I have no control over how people will behave. Uhuru Kenyatta will not in any way, or even William Ruto as deputy party leader, interfere in any way whatsoever with who will be nominated by the party in any seat. That's why even
answer this.
Let me finish.
No, answer this.
I was going to answer the first question. Why we have not ask your question and answer you.
If that be the case,
I don't know what teacher asked.
Why have some people bolted from Jubilee to Maendeleo, Chap and these other smaller?
Now allow me to answer you also.
Because they say they are preferred candidates.
Allow me to answer you. Answer you the earlier question on why nobody has opposed to Uhuru Kenyatta, or why there is nobody, because nobody has offered himself.
And tell us why it's an affront on democracy.
Let him respond.
My God.
Just respond. Yeah. Respond.
You know,
you must sign the idea of it being an affront on democracy.
Can you allow me to answer your question, sir? I was telling you why Uhuru Kenyatta, there is nobody who has opposed him. And even with nobody opposing Uhuru Kenyatta, the party has not rushed to give Uhuru Kenyatta his nomination certificate until after the 21st of this month when we conduct our party nominations.
Okay.
Two, your second question was what? Because there are too many. You're asking why why people are bolting out. Why people are bolting out.
That they already
and why you have
let me tell you
as a party
my
financed by the president. There are 4 parties.
My opponents in Kikuyu constituency, for instance, I can bet almost 60% that after they lose, just like Raila Odinga keeps claiming he lost, he was rigged out of any election he lost, they will claim they were rigged out and they will go jump onto other parties or run as independent candidates. Even now, I'm telling you, inherently as politicians, people are selfish. People are looking at their own self-interest. People are looking at their chances of being able to win within the party. And therefore, if you feel you don't have the strength and the stamina to win within Jubilee, then you may find an easier route is to go to another smaller party.
Logistically, finally, now that you've talked about Jubilee and 21st, logistically, we've seen other parties like ODM and even the rest spreading or scattering the nominations. Jubilee plans to hold the primaries on one day. How logistically, I mean, is that going to be difficult? Do you think that's going to be difficult?
Let's begin by saying this. If a party is popular on the ground, like ODM, for example, there will always be friction. And a primary nominations, even for one county, is not a small matter. So let's start from there. Second, let's give it to Jubilee. They are more organized than ODM, than NASA. This is a fact. Let's also give it to them that they have accepted to work with IEBC. There are benefits accruing from that relationship. But I've also added that Jubilee is in power. And because of that, they can benefit a bit from what you used to call the provincial administration. And also, some discipline, knowing that your head is the president of the country, can bring in some discipline. But having said that, let's just admit on this table. And Kamau Ichung'wah, I want you Kimani Ichung'wah, I want you to admit here on this, and it will be on Sunday, it's going to be a nightmare for you. The kind of chaos we are going to face. I hear there are nominations in 33 counties. 33 counties.
53,000 polling stations.
Oh, my friend. 60,000 do what?
Let me make the admission. The admission that you want me to make.
Yeah, please do.
However, I will not make it in the words that you want me to make my admission. My admission is that our party is a party that believes in democracy. Our party leaders believe in democracy. Our party leaders have ensured that logistics are well worked out. You can see the number of human resource that has gone into our.
That's what I've given to you. I'm more organized.
20,000 people. We are not just more organized. We believe in allowing the people to elect their representatives. We do not believe in those who can pay a higher bid to be given direct nominations like you are advocating for. Because the party is you advocate for direct nominations. You advocate for direct nominations because you know the party that you advance the ideology of direct nomination.
Which party?
That party, ODM and that NASA thing. Those are people who believe that leadership goes to the highest bidder. That is why Elizabeth Ongoro will never get her right. And that's why Hussein Paul Otuoma, whether you repeat the nominations in Busia County 20 times, the result will be the same. Why? Because maybe Governor's Hospital Jamong has been financing the party. Financing.
That is not good.
It says maybe. But anyway, the jury's out. There's an interesting week ahead. Manyora is still, you've actually requested to still have Kimani here because you believe it will be chaotic on Friday.
In fact, I will talk to the cameramen because I know these newsmen in this country. I want them to put a camera on this guy when Kafogo is beating Babayao. I like Babayao, but I'm not running against Kafogo or Babayao. I'm running against two gentlemen who I am very confident with the support of the people. I will try.
We'll see what happens on Friday. Of course, this week, all other parties also holding their nominations. Crucial week ahead, of course, in politics in this country. Keep watching Sunday Live. The hashtag tonight is GamePlan 2017. Talk to us, 22422. You can text us. Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah and Herman Manyora, thank you so much for making time for us. We're back after this break.